at businessdata123.com. Today we're going to talk about startups and how to get large lines of business credit. I know this is probably one of the most popular videos. The other videos we have about 50 or 70 different videos going up, but this is really to help you, the brand new business owner, what to do. And from my experience of over 20 plus years working with small business owners on what to do and what not to do, and or get access to capital for your company. I'm going to be kind of detailed in this, but what I would like you to do is go back and watch the other videos because it'll have much more explanation about how to build your lines of credit, how to get access to capital, what to do. We're going to have about 50 to 70 different videos. Just go ahead and click through on the YouTube and watch or look for the, what do you call the thumbnails, and look for the more popular thumbnails or some of the other ones that really correspond to your particular situation. You'll learn from all of them, but today's strategy, today's focus will be on startups. Now, I'm going to pretend like there's a guy named Jim with me, and let's say Jim has a great idea for a business. My first thought to Jim says, Jim, where's the capital coming from? He says, Charles, I don't know. This is such a great business. I don't know, but I feel that I can get to $1 million with this idea. So my advice to you, and let's say that you're Jim, I say, Jim, okay, do you have a few $100s? He goes, yeah, Charles, I can probably get together about $400 or $500. I say, great, we'll stop right there. First thing we're going to do, Jim, we're going to incorporate. We're going to incorporate here in the state that you're in. We're going to go to LegalZoom.com and we're going to incorporate. We're going to set it up so that everything, all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, so far as corporation. Jim will say, okay, that sounds pretty good. And Jim, what we're going to do is that we're going to use a real nebulous name because we may not want to use this corporation for the business. What do you mean? Well, we might want to use a subsidiary for the business in order to run the business just in case the business goes sideways. So think about like Coca-Cola or you have Pepsi. On Coca-Cola, you have Coca-Cola, then you have Coca-Cola bottlers, and then they have all the other subsidiaries under there. With Pepsi, you have PepsiCo, PepsiCo bottlers, then you have something called like Yum Brands. Yum Brands is like KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut, all under each one. So you want to do the same thing. You want to emulate the big boys. So let's say that we incorporate first, Jim. We're going to get a secure location if you can. We want to get a commercial location. So we say, okay, we got to set up a commercial location. We want to get a phone number that's listed in 411 directory after we do this, and we want to make sure that it's listed so it's nationwide. You can call your carrier and they can tell you how to do this, or you can watch one of the previous videos and we'll tell you how to get it listed nationally as a 411, or you can just go ahead and Google it. It's okay, you say, okay, we'll start out with that. Then, Jim, we have to determine what our NAICS code is or SIC code, and he would ask me, what is that? And the NAICS code stands for North American Identification Classification System. It's an identifier of a business nationally and historically since the 1970s. The SIC code, Standard Industrialization Code, which you also need too, is from the 1940s, after World War II. It identifies all the businesses with historical data from the U.S. government and IRS information. You want to know what that is. You know, don't overthink it, but get it and go to census.gov and they have a whole full listing there and get it. He says, okay, we get that written down. Now what? Okay, the next thing we're going to do is that we have to make sure we call bank compliant. Now, bank compliant is below, but it's making sure that all information is listed in all the databases that the banks are going to pull from in order to verify that you're an actual real corporation. It doesn't take that long. It might take us about a week or so to do it, to get certain steps in action. We don't have to have all of them. We're going to do as many as possible. Jim says, okay. So he comes back a week later, okay, that's done. Now what we do? Okay, Jim, great. Now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to make sure that you still have the cash for your business. Yes, I do. I got, again, Charles, a few $100s, but I figured that I can get, I can really do something. I said, okay, great. Just want to make sure. Next step, Jim, was that we're going to get Net 30 accounts. What are those? Those are companies that actually will give us terms for a corporation, not for you, Jim, but for your corporation, up to 30 days to pay. And so their company said, do that? Says, yeah. And guess what, Jim? You don't have to use your social security number. What? Yeah, seriously, you don't have to use your social security number. You can use your EIN number of your corporation. What? That's something I also forgot to tell you, Jim. What's that? We had to make sure we get our EIN number. Oh, what's that? EIN number is called Employer Identification Number, and that's part, you can get that at irs.gov, and that's form SS4. Yes, you can go SS4 online, or you can just go ahead and go to irs.gov and type it in, mail it in, and they'll give you back your form. After that, I missed another point for you, Jim. What's that, Charles? I said we have to get our Dun & Bradstreet number. Forgot about that. It's a simple filing at dnb.com, and we get what they call a DUNS number. That stands for Data Universal Numbering System. It helps the companies, it helps track how well you pay your bills on time. It's been around since the 1840s, and they have one of the largest databases in the world. In fact, they're worldwide. And Jim will go, wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, so again, let's go back over to Jim. We're incorporated. We have a commercial location. We have the telephone number. We have the DUNS number. We have the NAICS code. And not only that, I've given you the listing, which a week ago become bank compliant. So Jim's like, okay, we're great. Yeah, we're great. Next step, Jim, we're getting net 30 accounts, like I said before. So we'll go with like Uline or Gimplers or some of the list of companies that we had talked about previously. Once we have those, that takes another week or so. Then after that, some people say use them and don't use it, but I would say go ahead and use them. You want to buy it so that you have some kind of record and also a reference, a trade reference. So you want to use it. After that, we're going to go for, we call it revolving accounts. What a revolving account, instead of us paying it back within 30 days, we can pay it back in a year, 2 years, 6 months, doesn't matter, but as long as we pay it back. And those companies like with Walmart or Staples or other companies like that, maybe JCPenney's, that kind of thing, JCPenney's commercial account. So we'll get those. That takes about a week or so. We can all be doing this at the same time, Jim, but I want to make sure that step by step for you. It doesn't take longer than about a week to do a lot of this, but I want to make sure. So he goes, okay, I understand. Okay, so the next step, Jim, is that after we have revolving, we want to get the corporate credit cards. And Jim was like, wow, okay, well, I had some personal credit issues. No problem, Jim, because this whole time we've only using what? The EIN number of the corporation. And also, even with personal credit, you can put down as a deposit up to $200, a minimum of $200 for a credit card, so that you have that in the business. So that extra $200, guess where we're going to put it at? Where? We're going to put it into a Wells Fargo secured credit card. So we have a credit card in the business name. It impresses a lot of people, and everyone around you be impressed too. So we do that, we really impress. And Jim will go like, wow, okay, great. So we've done that. And so all this time doesn't take much to take. Jim, we can do all this with less than a week, maybe 2 weeks or so. It doesn't take that long. After we have that, Jim, guess what we're going to do now? What, Charles? Okay, so we're bank compliant, net 30, revolving, credit cards. Now we're going to go bank lines of credit. Now, Jim, you said you had some personal things, but by this time, hopefully you've cleaned some things up in your credit report. So now we can go march on down to the bank. We're going to they want to know 5 things from us, Jim. And those 5 things are, they're going to want to open up a checking account, a savings account, bill pay service, ATM debit card, and a Visa card under the corporation. And with that, the reason why they're going to do that, because each one of those represents a revenue streams for the banks, and known as ARMs. So each ARM averages out about $4 or $5 per month. It's not a problem right now because we're going to play the game because we want to get the bank lines of credit. Now, since you clean your credit up and you've had some revenue, or we're going to have projected revenue on the corporation, we're going to go with stated income. What stated income means, instead of us giving all the information to the bank, we're just going to look at our NAICS code and say, okay, for this business that we're starting, our first year we should do, just say nominally, $200,000 or so. So with that information, because we're starting out, the bank will look at our business, what we set up. They're going to look at us personally, what we have available. And even what they're looking for is not you personally, but just making sure that you have nothing negative, no judgments, no liens, no bankruptcies, anything like that. And they'll offer you a line of credit. And that initial line of credit for the startup will probably be anywhere between $15,000 to $25,000. I had one customer start out brand new, automatically, boom, we didn't even go through all this. They gave him $25,000 right off the bat because he had a previous relationship with that bank. We could have probably got him $500,000, but it's a whole other such story there. So with that, Jen, you'll probably get $25,000, $25,000 as a line of credit, and they'll offer you a credit card on top of that, anywhere between $10,000 or so. So we're looking at $35,000 within the first 30 days. And Jen was like, what? He goes, wow, okay. And so, Jim, you know the excess cash you have? Yeah. I said, now we're at this point, we have to make sure the business is growing, because if the business is growing and we're showing a revenue, that's going to enable us to get larger and larger lines of credit. We're going to show activity through that checking account. And not only that, we're going to start signing up other banks with us. And so, Jim, in order to move things forward with you in a more quickly and expedited manner, what we're going to do now is that we're going to open up 2 more national accounts for your startup. What? Are you serious? He goes, yeah, because the reason why is that we want as many national accounts, no more than 3, because we want to put in check systems. We could talk about check systems later. We want 3 accounts that have our information. So those 3 banks might be like a Chase Bank, a Wells Fargo, a Bank of America. It could be HSBCs, could be Citibank. It doesn't matter. It depends upon your area, Jim. And once those 3 are set up, we're good for at least 90 to 120 days. And then we're going to go through the same process, and we're going to ask them for a line of credit. Some will give us the same, some will give us less, some will give us more. It does not really matter, Jim. And the whole reason why we're doing this, we want to be put into databases. And as we're going through this, Jim, as we become bank compliant, as you know, we put in so much information in databases that we're starting to grow the business so far as database now. Now, Jim, your responsibility is to get out there and start growing that business, using this capital, increasing your revenue streams, because with increased revenue streams and increased profitability, you will show that you're responsible for these credit lines. You're paying everything back on time. We're going to show you how to automate so everything is automatically paid 5 to 10 days ahead of time. We want to make sure that we're doing all the proper little things that we should be doing. We're paying our taxes, with quarterlies, everything else. But we really want to grow this business. And I'm showing you this, Jim, so that you don't have to grow it out your own savings. Make sure that your wife is happy with you as well. And we set it up in such a way so that you're shielded from a lot of bad things that may be happening. So this should last you for at least a year, maybe 2 years, Jim, depending on how your business grows. Again, from what I've shown you, we've only taken about maybe a little less than $500 to do, but we've really grown your business. And if you did have Jim, and he came back and tell me later, well, Charles, I do have 100,000. I would go like, what? You had 100,000? Yeah, I was going to put in my business. I said, well, Jim, what we can do, and even grow it even more, is that we can take the 100,000, put it into a trust account at, let's say, a Charles Schwab, a TD Ameritrade, something like that, and we go back to those banks and say, hey, you know something? I have $100,000. I want to borrow against that as a line of credit for the corporation. So they can look at that and like, what? How much do you? Okay, yeah, now we can come back. Jim, guess what? We can give you a line of credit. We increase it from, let's say, $10,000, $20,000. We increase that credit line now to $75,000. And each one of those businesses can, now you have 75,000 times 3, looking at 225. Now you have 225,000, Jim, or more as a line of credit to really build your businesses. That's a really smart way to do it, because one of the number one things for most businesses, Jim, that is that they don't have adequate access to capital, but now you do. And hopefully for this business, you can go from years on. You can watch more of my videos, Jim, so we can get not only from $250,000 to $500,000 to $1 million, and we can go on and up from there. And so, Jim, hopefully you have a chance to go out and read some of my, watch some of my videos. Jim, as a friend, hopefully you'll hire me to help build your business credit. Jim, you'll hire me for your team. So if you have groups of teams or you want a webinars, listen to one of those. Again, hopefully this has helped you today. We have free information below. The information we have is on bank compliance. We have information on grants for businesses. Most people, there's no such thing. Yes, there is. There's plenty of money for grants. There's a lot below. Or if you need to hire us to help increase your lines of credit or increase your business, you can reach me at charles@businessdata123.com, info@businessdata123.com. The name of our company is called Business Data Consulting, and we're here to help you, the business owner, get the lines of credit you need in order to grow your business, achieve your dreams, and just get beyond of always being frustrated because you can't get adequate access to capital. Reach out to me, and I look forward to seeing you. Also, watch the other videos. We have 50-70 videos coming up that should be on YouTube. And just watch the videos and reach out to me with a question. I look forward to talking to you and working with you soon. Have a great day.